Yeah, my name's Sarah. If I've not got to meet you guys yet, I'm at Ohio State. Go Bucks. It is awesome. Obviously, the past 8 months have been super weird, and one of the most refreshing things to me, one of the most encouraging things, has been my friendship with college students. And so today, just for 10 minutes, you guys are going to get to hear from two of my closest friends. Their names are Alexandra and Grace. I think they're on here. So how about both of you guys introduce yourselves, say your name, year, and then least favorite Halloween candy.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Vitelis. I am a sophomore, and my least favorite Halloween candy would be gummy bears.
I'm Grace Bloomfield. I'm also a sophomore here at Ohio State. And my least favorite Halloween candy would either be candy corn or Reese's because I hate peanut butter.
Boo! So sketchy of you. Cool. So obviously I have gotten to be a part of your guys' story, but no one else here has. So how about you guys share a little bit about going into your freshman year? What were you guys looking for life, purpose, wholeness? What were you looking for in your college experience?
Yeah. So coming to college, I really just wanted to be as involved as possible. So I joined club tennis. I joined a Greek Orthodox student organization called Sigma. I got plugged in with Young Life, and then I also rushed a sorority in the spring. And I wanted to be a part of all these things just so I could feel successful and accomplished during my first year at college. And because I was involved, I really thought I had it all together for a while.
Yeah, so I would say coming into college, I was really just looking for fun, which typically included the partying scene for me. I was trying to find fulfillment and make myself feel whole. I was also just always searching for attention, whether that be from boys or friends or professors. I just wanted to feel noticed.
Thanks for sharing, guys. So luckily, because of God's grace, it didn't stop there. He intervened in your life. So I would love to hear about for you guys, what was the turning point in your relationship with Christ? What kind of changed the game for you?
So freshman year, I was really trying to make my relationship with God a small part of my life as I got more caught up in my extracurriculars and wanting to feel like I was thriving at college. I found myself so distracted that I started slipping away from community. I started skipping my small group, skipping first year, making excuses not to go, and then altogether stop showing up to anything. It felt like I was inching away little by little. And then eventually I looked around me and saw nobody trying to follow Christ with me. And that made me feel really alone and empty. So one day, my second semester, Sarah asked me to get lunch with her. And there I had my first real conversation that I'd had in months. I ended up breaking down while we were eating our breakfast tacos because I just fully realized how lost I'd become. And I was so desperate to get back into community and rekindle my fire for the Lord because of how empty and surface level my life at college started to feel. So I decided to go on the Young Life spring break trip where I was shown what I'd been missing my whole freshman year so far. And most importantly, I was reminded of God's love for me and his faithfulness to me, even though I had gone so far astray. And by the end of the week, I knew that I didn't want my relationship with God to be a part of my life, but I wanted it to be my whole life. And I was so ready to run after the Lord wholeheartedly.
Thanks, Alexandra.
Yeah, so similar to Alexandra, my turning point in my relationship with Christ also happened on the Young Life College spring break trip. I decided to go on the trip with a bunch of my friends, but was really just pumped for a week on the beach. I wasn't really expecting anything transformational to happen. But once I got there, I was surrounded in a community of believers again and just felt that sense of joy and peace that comes along with that I really hadn't felt since high school. And it was so much sweeter than any party I had been to or anything I was trying to fill myself with before. And God just completely wrecked me on the beach one day. And I broke down crying to Sarah and told her that I was tired of living the double life, that I really wanted to be all in for Jesus again. And it was really just the greatest blessing I could have asked for, because through that trip and through Sarah's just constant pursuit of me, I got to see the Lord's faithfulness. And I finally realized that He had never actually left my side, even when I had run away from Him a million times.
Thanks, girls. That's so encouraging. So spring break was amazing. And then when we got on the bus on the way home, how we thought spring semester was going to look like totally changed. We came home and you guys packed your bags and went home. And so a lot of the people on this call, obviously ministry has looked so different during COVID times, but for you guys, it really built a foundation for your relationship with Christ. So I'd love you guys to share a little bit about how it was transformational to your relationship with Jesus going home, and also how it was transformational in your friendship with one another, because now you guys have a really special friendship. So I'd love you guys to share about that.
Yeah, so Alexandra has been one of my greatest friends since the beginning. We met on the Facebook group, actually, where you like make a little post about yourself, and saw that we both did Young Life. So we became friends like through Snapchat before we even got here. And our friendship, I don't want to say it was surface level, but it wasn't centered around the Lord at all. We both would, skip our small group together and go out on the weekends together. And we're just really not following the Lord together. But once quarantine had hit and we decided both that we were really going to start following Jesus, our friendship had so much more depth to it. And we FaceTimed all the time. We kept in contact every single day through quarantine, and really dove into our relationship with the Lord together. And just so much fruit was shown through that. And our friendship has just become so much sweeter. And I see how Jesus loves other people through the way Alexandra loves people every single day. And that is really just such a gift. I would also say that my relationship with the Lord grew tremendously as well in quarantine. It was really weird, honestly, because leaving spring break on such a high, I got off the bus, packed my dorm, and drove back to Cincinnati, where I'm from, all in the exact same day. And it was really weird and crazy. I didn't really know what the Lord was doing at the time, and it was confusing, but we had countless FaceTimes and Zoom calls, and I really just stayed in that community, which was amazing. And I also got into the Word every single day, which I had been terrible about in college, and really just built a really firm foundation in my relationship with Jesus, so that once I was back at college, I was much better at facing the temptations that I had faced the year before, so that I could still follow Jesus wholeheartedly once I was back here.
That's awesome, Grace. What about you, Alexandra?
I would say hearing the news that we were getting sent home right after spring break, that was honestly really scary for me, because I thought that meant I wasn't going to have anyone around me to encourage me in my faith. But what happened was actually the opposite. As Grace kind of touched on, we Zoomed constantly with Sarah and the girls that were in our condo from spring break, just to check in with each other, ask each other how we were really doing, encourage one another, and also get into the word together, which was so great. And although it was hard not being able to be together in person, and it was hard feeling isolated as we all did in quarantine, it was so incredibly beneficial to have all of the distractions of college completely removed, so that I was able to find so much more alone time with God and really focus on seeking Him each and every day. And now being back on campus with Grace, our friendship has been so much fun. It definitely looks a lot different than it did last year, but it has been so much more life-giving, because now we get to be on mission together. We get to hold each other accountable for how we want our lives to be looking, living on campus. And it has been so much fun getting to love our friends together and show our friends Jesus. And I'm so thankful for Grace. She is the biggest blessing.
Guys, they're in my bedroom right now. We just need to make that for a second. Thanks for sharing, girls. So to wrap up, all this is so encouraging to me especially, but I would love you guys to share a word of encouragement to Young Life College staff right now. Kind of, if you could say a few words to them in the season they're at right now, what would you say?
I would say, even though I skipped out constantly on small groups or things that Sarah would invite me to, she persisted and wanting to know me better. And for that, I am so thankful because of her persistence and consistency in wanting to be in my life, I was really able to see God's relentless pursuit of me. And I was able to feel that in a way I'd never felt before. So I just wanted to remind you all that it really does take one person to show up in someone's life and to pour God's love into them that can bring them to Jesus and change their whole eternity. And I am so confident that the Lord is working through all of you to lead lost college students to Christ, just like Sarah did for me.
Yeah, so I would encourage you guys just to remember that the fruit is growing even if you don't see it in the moment. I met Sarah during Welcome Week, my very first week of college freshman year, and we immediately became super good friends. But I was honestly really hard to lead. Kind of like Alexandra was saying, I would, I was in her first year small group, but I would skip her small group all the time, and I would hang out with her all the time. But I would tell her that like the double life was for me, like it was my thing. And she didn't give up on me though, and pursued me every single day. She was an amazing friend and showed me Christ in everything she did. And I didn't come around until the spring break trip second semester. So that was 7.5 months of Sarah pursuing a friendship with me and showing me Christ every day until I started bearing the fruit. So praise Jesus, she didn't give up on me, because it has been the greatest blessing I could have ever asked for. So I would just say, remember that God's the one that changes the hearts, and that all you guys can do is show up and love your people well, and the fruit will come eventually, because y'all are doing such amazing work. I promise.
Thanks, guys. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing. Weird to be with you guys over Zoom and not in person, but love you guys a ton, and really thankful for your story and how God has freaking like changed your guys' hearts and lives, and a whole year later, how much things look different in the best way.